Pass to the back corner. It's Baldwin. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We don't have enough time in the day to talk about all these mentors, but I think what was probably most important to me was folks who saw me outside of the realm of sports, right? Because I think most athletes really want and crave that affirmation outside of their performance on the field or on the court or whatever it may be. And so for me to have folks who saw me more than that and who invested in me to pursue that something greater than just the sports realm was very important to me. So Vault 89 was basically a vehicle for me to invest in the community in various ways. As a for-profit, we actually get to partner with nonprofits. We don't have that red tape, but we get to effectuate change at the same level.
When you ask what we do and why we do it, it's to serve. So what does that look like? It looks like any number of things. So if you look at the projects or our portfolio, it's going to be a real estate investment portfolio. It's going to be community-based investments. It's going to be traditional investments. It's going to be other things that we see that there's a need and we need to fill a gap and serve a need.
The technical term is we're a social impact investment firm. We work with a company called Safeway. Anybody heard of Safeway? Of course. In the city of Seattle, they have 17 stores. Every day there's food that is about to expire. It's still edible food, but it's about to expire. And if they don't get that food out to folks who can use it, to eat it, that food has to get thrown away. 2.5 to 3.5 tons of food every week. We have a proposal with the city right now saying, hey, we'll take that food that's gonna be thrown away, that's still edible. We'll do integrated logistics to get it to the food banks and the other hunger relief organizations in a timely manner with the folks who will eat it, we'll get it within 24 hours. Right? That's the kind of work that my company does. On top of doing traditional regular investments.
He's a geek. Doug just happened to hide his geekiness by being a good athlete. But he's a geek. Doug's not the biggest guy in the world. He's not the fastest guy in the world. But he was always open. And to be able to be always open as much as he was, and the games that I did watch him play, of course I was rooting for the other team. And it's like, well, how is this guy always open? It's because he studied, you know. He studied playbook, he studied his opponents, he knew everything about them, right? And that's why he was always open. That is the same thing in the business world. You need to be prepared. You need to know what you're going up against. You need to understand how you're gonna maneuver. It's not always a straight line. So there are skill sets that he displayed as a professional athlete that absolutely translates to the business world.
And he's open to new ideas.
His most impactful, I would say, the community center. Family First Community Center. This was his goal, was to build this community center in Renton to service everyone. What he's done with that community, in my opinion, is just phenomenal.
I would say his greatest achievement is his family. That is the driving force behind everything that he does. And I think that the amount of time that he puts into his daughters and his wife and his family is by far his greatest achievement. A good role model, I would say, because he's very real and raw about who he is. When he speaks to young people, he'll say, I don't care what you do in life, just be a good person, just be a good person. But I think that he's very open about his struggles. He's very open about who he is as a person. And I think that's something that our young people need to see more of, is just being your authentic self.
You know, I think one of the biggest challenges for me, especially when I left the game of football, was seeing value within myself outside of performing on the football field. That was a really challenging time in my life. And so 3 days after I retired, my first daughter was born. And so I really had no time to mourn the loss of my career and then also prepare for fatherhood in that way. And so really figuring out what my real identity was outside of the sport of football, while also trying to show up the best version of myself for my daughter at the time. And I wasn't successful at it. I wasn't as present as I'd like to be. But I think what I learned in that process was that I needed to give myself grace.
Don't be afraid to fail. I think society teaches us not to show the challenges, the struggles that we go through in life. But let's be honest, everybody's going through struggles and challenges in life, right? No matter who you are, no matter what you make it look like, everybody's human, everybody's going through challenges. So just know that and accept that and let it be okay. You're gonna fail. right? Everything's not gonna be rainbows and butterflies, but the beautiful thing is that the way that you learn, the way that you grow, is going through those failures, accepting those failures, and taking the lessons that those failures have to give you, and then applying them to the next failure, to the next step, right? For me personally, that's how I've grown. That's how I've best learned, is to fail, take those lessons, and then apply it to the next thing.